do this in my sleep.
In his sleep. What's up?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and also happy Halloween. Yeah. First flag of the show.
Back with the flag, Joe.
Of course.
Flag for his implants.
Right? I know. Ugh, looking good. So we are back for another weekly edition of NFL Pick'ems with ESPN Los Angeles, Raj Grobes, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Raj. And, of course, we have an awesome slate of games for you guys, combined with, who to pick, who not to pick, combined with some start stadiums, fantasy advice, so on and so forth.
The usual mumbo.
The usual. But before we get into that, like I mentioned, happy Halloween. Raj, how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Warming up. Still get up to 80 out here. We've dropped, man. I know you feel sorry for us. No 90 today. We're going to drop to 80 degrees. But it's going to be a fine Halloween, And I couldn't find my outfit. I had one, so I just decided to dress like a stripper. And hopefully I'll get a tip or something.
I got you a flag.
If the dude comes in the stream, WW comes in the stream, we will get tip for sure. All right, so let's kind of get into it. Meanwhile, wait, really quick, I just want to toss this in. We got hit with a 3-day bomb cyclone. Blizzard. Yeah.
There's still snow outside. Still, yeah.
About to go 4 inches outside still. So, enjoy that weather. So, first off, cheers to me, cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls, what it do. Let's dive into these weekly picks.
Let's go.
So, first off, starting off with Thursday night football, we have the man, the myth, legend, Joey Bosa going up against Kyler Murray. Interviews that you guys have gotten from us over the last 2 weeks. Gentlemen,
number 1 versus number 2.
Yeah, number 1 versus number 2. Gentlemen, what are we thinking behind this game? And we will start off with Raj.
Interesting game. We posed it as like, hey, can the Rams some type of blueprint to beat the 49ers, something like that. Obviously, the backfield's going to be a mess. David Johnson's not going to play. Chase Edmonds isn't going to play. So they traded for the great Kenyon Drake. You got Zinner is going to make an appearance, and even Alfred Morris in the background. So right off the bat, I have doubts on them trying to pass their way past the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan, interestingly enough, I know the Cardinals have a new head coach, but he's 0-4 against the Cardinals. In fact, the Cardinals have beaten the Niners 8 straight times, man. So you got to go back a while. But obviously, it's a new team, new time, obviously a new defense. And you're going to have to go with the Niners on this. So like you guys got the point spread 10 up there. I still think short week. I think the Cardinals can keep it close. We'll hope for that at least watching. But the defense is real. Garoppolo isn't taking the world by storm, but he's not losing games. He's been a game manager. I think he'll continue to do that here. And Niners in an easy win. Got no upset pick here.
Nice. It's kind of hard for me to go against San Francisco at the current time, at the current moment. I know some people argue, okay, well, who have they realistically faced? And I get that argument, but at the same time, these are still NFL teams of which they are beating. Whether you like it or not, they are the only other undefeated team. They are the only undefeated team in the NFC. So with this pick, it is what it is. I do want to let the viewers out there know you are firing up your 49ers. Okay, Tevin Coleman. If you have Tevin Coleman is an absolute must start for you tonight. I know that usually we're weary on Thursday night games. I'm letting you know with a guy like Tevin Coleman, you don't have to be wary. You should not have any of the wide receivers in San Fran. If you do, hopefully Emmanuel Sanders is the only one, and you have him because you had him before he was traded. I say that you could fire up Emmanuel Sanders. I think that he may catch, a touchdown. But the 49ers, they don't pass often. So if you have receivers for the 49ers, don't rely heavily on them. Don't rely on them. As for the Cardinals, Christian Kirk should be back. Larry Fitz is always a guy that you could put into your lineup. But I do have this. Part of me wants to side with Vegas, but I am going to go a little bit under that 10. And I'm going to say that 49ers by a TD. That TD will come from a receiving touchdown.
Bold prediction. You always love them. I agree. I'm firing up every 49er running back that you possibly have. For me, this is another one of those times where I preach that if you can run the ball at the end of the game and not lose the ball, you can gain a first down or two when you're just trying to kill clock. That is huge. I think it's going to be a game for the Niners to do that. Yeah, Kyler Murray is going to make it exciting. We've loved to watch him play so far. He's gotten better. He's gotten back to the speed of the game. But without David Johnson, without Chase Edmonds, I don't know where they're going to find their run game. I mean, Kyler probably will lead the team in running by the end of this game. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I
agree. You don't want that, but I agree.
Yeah. I mean, definitely don't want that. And I think that's going to be because he's going to be running for his life, to be honest with you. We've seen Bosa turn it up, defensive player of the week.
Bosa, 20 tackles, 7 sacks, interception, and a forced fumble this season.
I mean, again, like those are not rookie numbers.
The only other rookie with the same numbers is Josh Allen.
Yeah. So I'm definitely not seeing this as an upset. Hopefully Kyler makes it exciting, but I can see about 10 points being the spread. I think Vegas has that pretty on. I don't think it'll be a blowout. Cardinals will keep it at that 10 in the cover, but Niners all day.
Also with that 49ers backfield, Breida out, Mostert out, Wilson may play. So this is even more reason to add validation to why it is so important for you to put Tevin Coleman in your lineups tonight. The Kenyon Drake stuff, I'm not sure about. We all know I'm not a Kenyon Drake truther. You're not going to get Kenyon Drake advice on this show. We haven't liked Kenyon
Drake on any team
for 2 years.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Getting into the very first game of Sunday. This game actually taking place in London. I'm not exactly sure which stadium it is. Raj, you're usually on the international stuff. Being that you're a soccer fan, is this Wimbledon or is this the Spurs?
Wembley Stadium?
Wembley. Alrighty, so this one will be in Wembley. That stadium is very loud, so we got to take that into heavy account with the Saints. But it is going to be the Texans and Jaguars. This game is going to be an early morning game. I'm probably going to do fantasy start and sits with you guys Friday night, before or after Rumboyz After Dark, being that I'll be covering this game, Saturday night. My fault, Saturday night, being that this game is an early morning game. But nonetheless, we'll start off with Alberto Riveron to hopefully call this game in a fair fashion.
Well, if I was still roughing, it would be fair fashion, but you know what it is. We'll leave it alone at that. For this game, I think Raj is definitely keyed in on teams kind of honing in together, and one guy goes down, so it kind of brings them together. They just lost their defensive leader. He's been defensive leader since he's got there. J.J. Watt down the rest of the season. So I think this is going to bring the Texans defense together. They're not that good already, so don't expect them to be a top 5 defense here, but I think this brings them together. They at least do what they have to do for the offense to get it done. Yes, the Jags are a scary team. Honestly, this is a hard pick for me here, but I think the Texans offense is going to get it done. I like Deshaun Watson. I'm thinking DeAndre Hopkins gets it done over there. The problem is we've seen good teams lack going to London from jet lag, whatever it is. So it's always hard to pick a London game for me, but I like the Texans in this one, keeping it going. Hopefully their defense rallies around losing someone like J.J. Watt. They're kind of losing pieces here as Clowney goes down. Well, not down, but leaves. J.J. goes down. So hopefully they can hold it together, but I think they can stop Minshew mania at the moment. Leonard Fournette, big game, though.
Okay, so you're going with the Jags.
I'm going with the Texans.
I'm sorry. I meant you're going with the Texans.
Yeah.
I'm in the complete, total polar opposite direction of you.
Let's go.
I do, and not to kind of play off what I mentioned in the previous take, but I do think that this game is probably within a touchdown. As well, I have this as about a 6-point game. Somehow, some way, Kamini Fairbairn finds a way to miss a field goal, which is crazy to believe because he's not that guy. But I just have it coming down to special teams in this game. With that being said, I mean, D-Hop, obvious start. You may look at Kenny Stills for a wide receiver too, especially if maybe you got a guy like, Robert Woods out. I think the Texans are going to be able to put up points. Deshaun Watson is he's a beast at extending plays, but with no J.J. Watt, with no type of pass rush, I see Minshew mania continuing, thus silencing any conversations about what happens to this team whenever Nick Foles comes back. Because if they win this game, then yeah, they're spot on. I see that the Texans, maybe dealing with a little bit of a jet lag, a little bit of a hangover. The Jaguars, they're used to these international games. They're constantly always booked on these international games. So I feel like they're now comfortable with this as an organization. If you got Chris Conley, you can throw him out there. DJ Shark, obviously, we're going to put Mr. Wide Receiver 15 overall in fantasy out there. Wide receiver 16. Cortland Sutton is one above him. But, I mean, for the most part, like you mentioned, Leonard Fournette, he's going to feast. I think the Jaguars, they take it to him because they're used to the atmosphere.
Yeah, the AFC South matchup, Texans have won 3 in a row. Bill O'Brien is 9-2 versus the Jags in his career. Just has their number. But Leonard Fournette leads the AFC in rushing. I think they can control the game with him and then lean on Minshew when they need to. I do like Chark, who I believe leads the AFC with 6 touchdowns. To me, this defense, even when Watt was there, was nothing special. And I do like when teams rally around something like that. But I almost sense that they're looking at Watt like, man, again, the teammates, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, come on, you got all these commercials, you all hearing this and that, going to the cameras on you at the World Series, and here you go, missing another season. But so I don't think I think there is some little bit of jealousy there within the locker room. Not that I've heard anything, no word on the street, just a simple guess on my part. But I'm going to go with Jacksonville in this one. Like I'm not only to cover spread, but just to win the game straight up. I agree. I forgot Nick Foles was even on the team, man, until you guys just mentioned him. I mean, yeah, he can forget about it. Just take your normal spot on the bench, grab the clipboard. Not a bad way to make a living. But Jags win this, and I believe it cements Minshew as the starter. And starting tomorrow, I'll be rocking my Movember, my little mustache. I'll be doing my Black Minshew. And so we're going to be rolling for Movember starting tomorrow. But anyway, give it to Jags in this game, fellas.
I'm with it. All very good takes so far. You haven't had to throw a flag yet.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next one, whenever you want to call it.
I'm waiting on you to say something stupid here.
Yeah.
The time.
Bears versus Eagles. This begins the very first slate of the afternoon games for you guys out there. I do have the East Coast times on the stream for you guys. It'll be 11 a.m. Mountain Time for us. 10 for you, and then of course 12 Central. Heading into this slate of games, Bears Eagles. It's a 4.5 line. We will go ahead and start off with. It's your team, actually. No, I wanted to see you defend yourself. I just want to watch you squirm.
Yeah. The sad thing is at this point, I now understand where Robbie's at with this. Like, I have to take the Bears, but I can't tell you why I'm taking the Bears, for what reason I'm taking the Bears. Like, flag on the fucking play. Our defense isn't holding it down. I mean, against the Eagles, the onslaught that the Eagles decided to bring last week makes me feel like our defense is kind of in trouble against this team. There is a lot of judgment going between these two teams, Alshon Jeffrey and Jordan Howard. I mean, we'll see who punches each other in the mouth here. Again, I don't have a reason to say that our offense does anything against their defense, but I can't pick against the Bears. Like, for all that it's worth, Bears win for no reason. Like, I mean, flag on the play. I got no reason calling it on myself. I'll start it off with him, but like, I feel your pain, man.
At the end of the day, we are fans, and it's a human element, and we bring that element. We're not taking ourselves all serious, like, oh, I'm a responsible journalist. No, you're a fan, so I can respect that take.
But if I have money, I'm sadly probably telling you guys to put it up.
Now, having said that, I picked obviously the Chargers last week in the upset against them because to me, the Chargers, it was an even game. It came down to what? It came down to me to quarterback play, and I can't get behind a team under 300 yards a game, and it's based off of Trubisky. I was a little not shocked that we brought up on our show, like, hey, do you guys do something at the trade deadline? Because you've got a good defense you talked about. You got David Montgomery. You got a receiver in Allen Robinson. You got a supporting cast, Anthony Miller and guys. Trey Burton hasn't had a pulse this season, but, maybe we could get him going. What more do you need to see out of David Trubisky to know he is not your quarterback. So I was surprised they didn't go and maybe go after a Bridgewater or something like that, because he's going to be a free agent. Do it now. Have a plan in place to re-sign him. I don't need another year of Trubisky. I was arguing with Keyshawn about that. Oh, they just want us. No, I've seen enough. I don't need more. You're going to waste this defense that you have right now because you have a quarterback that is incompetent. Having said that, I mean, the Eagles, their struggles on the other side, since we heard whispers not only this season but before the season about Carson Wentz, his leadership. Are the guys really down with him? But on the field, X and O's wise, I said it last week, they have the slowest receiving crop in the league without Deshaun Jackson. He's practicing this week, so I think he might come back. I don't know the latest on that. If he comes back, that'll make a world of difference. I think it stretches the fields. Zach Ertz and the other Goddard, they get involved. I'm going to take the Eagles in this game. I think the players-only meeting, I think it did fire them up. The Eagles need that, that dog mask face. They need to feel something against them and have their sense of identity. Like they need that smack talk. They're the wrestler that needs someone to, diss them. Oh, now you're going to get all hyped up. I don't know what it is about the Eagles, but they get a chip on their shoulder. It's a different type of team. Maybe the Cowboys' butt kicking woke them up, but I'll take the Eagles in this game. I just can't see Trubisky carrying this team to a victory.
I just don't see a game where he's going to flip the switch.
What I will say is that it seems to me, teams like to kind of coincide with what you said. Philly, they need that. That kind of like that animosity to create that dog mentality. Philly is a team that even when this team was not doing so hot back in the day, they're a team and they're a town, they're a city. This team embodies that city and embodies that culture of what it means to be a Philadelphian. So I really respect and I love that you mentioned that, Raj, because I feel that they have done that. And believe you me, being from Washington, D.C., we do not like anything up above us north 95. Yeah. It is what it is, and I have to agree with you there. Whenever a team takes on the persona of the culture around itself, it elevates them to a new level. I'm sorry, the Bears are looking a lot like are not looking like some Bears. They're looking like some damn Cubs. Okay, the Eagles are going to swoop down, pick you guys apart, and feast on you. And here is why: Jordan Howard is pissed off. Alshon Jeffrey's still a little bit sour. Deshaun Jackson is going to be back healthy. What's your safety going to do? What safety? I'm just saying. I'm just spitting facts here. Your linebackers in the middle, they're about to get chewed up by two tight end spreads. I guarantee at least three two tight end spread formations from the Eagles, and they're just going to hit you guys with crossing routes from Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, and you don't know which way you're going to get hit. I
agree their receivers are some of the best in the league if they're all on the field at the same time.
No. I gave you your opportunity. Throw
a flag on yourself.
Flag. It's a challenge flag.
Look, it is what it is. You guys have your playbook. I told you this when I sat there and I pointed out the film. Your playbook went from being this thick to now this thick. Because you guys took out all the tight end little shovel passes.
Every run play available.
Yep, every run play practically gone. You can't figure out how to utilize David Montgomery to save your life. The creative offensive genius of Matt Nagy suddenly disappeared like a fart in the wind from Paris Hilton.
If I had Homie's number, I'd be calling him already. I would have called it after week 2. Listen,
chalk up the season. And then one more, just to put the nail in the coffin. During the NFL trade deadline, you guys did absolutely, positively nothing, not a thing. Okay, you did not. Knowing that you have issues at the quarterback position, knowing that your backup Daniels isn't the answer, you didn't try and go for Cam. Kansas City just calls up Matt Moore and is like, hey, you want to put down the high school playbook and come coach?
If I could have called them, I would have been like, yeah, do something about it. I can't call nobody.
Listen,
we're not there yet.
Your season is done. You guys are not in rebuild mode, but you guys need to figure out things personnel-wise, coaching-wise. It's not – I don't put it all on Trubisky, but I do put it all on Nagy. I put a portion of it on Trubisky, but big portion on Nagy.
I mean – I'm going to put a lot of it on Trubisky. Like, they're letting the dude throw 40, 50 times a game, and he can't complete 50%.
Eagles by 10.
Oh, that's so much better than I thought it would be. Okay,
Yeah,
I was waiting for 21 plus, to be honest.
You know what? It's Halloween. I'm feeling a little ghoulish, actually. Let's go ahead and make it. Let's go ahead and make it by 14. Let's make it by 14.
Okay.
Yeah. Next one that we have up, gentlemen. That was great. I love that.
Swoop down and we're going to lose by 14? Shit.
Yes.
That ain't bad.
I mean, no.
I'll take it.
For the defense shall have, that's bad.
I'll take it.
Next up, we have Vikings and Chiefs. Okay, this one taking place at Arrowhead. Vegas has it set 3.5. Continuing on with that morning slot of games. Raj, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, this one obviously a big difference is who's going to practice or who's going to start at a quarterback for the Chiefs. Even last week I mentioned I didn't care who started. I thought Green Bay would win that game. Matt Moore still did fine. 267, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Wasn't bad. Kirk Cousins still leads the league with the quarterback rating. Had another stellar performance last week. Pick your poison at receiver. You got Diggs. You got Thielen. You got Dalvin Cook, of course. Minnesota's just on a roll. I mean, this isn't one of those depends who's, no matter who's at quarterback, do I feel, the Vikings will win. But, gosh, I see this as a really close game, guys, no matter who does it. The running game for KC still isn't clicking. And as long as that's the case, and if Matt Moore, let's face it, most likely would start. Keyshawn made a good point today. Even if, let's say Mahomes says, okay, yeah, I'll come back this week. I'm okay enough. Do you really want that heat, that smoke against the Vikings? And you know, my man, my man, the cover guy, number one cover guy. I told you Rose would shut down your boy last week. That's right. I don't care what the film said, even though he got burnt on every other play and there was some pass interference and overthrows. He's still – the box score says what the box score says, damn it. But no, he just doesn't know if the Chiefs are the Vikings are the team you want to bring him back on. So I see this Chiefs is struggling, man, and I really do. And if Mahomes, the big picture, fine. If you take an L here, just be back for the long haul the second half of the season. I think I'm going to go with the Vikings, not just quarterback play, but the fact that they still can't run the ball the way that I would like to see them run. That really put fear in people's heart. It opened up things for Kelsey. I know he had a TD last week, but still only 63 yards. He's usually putting up receiver-type numbers. So I'm going to go with the Vikings in an upset, and I'm going to stick to the theme of the Chiefs just aren't scaring people right now.
I like that.
Honestly, I felt the same way. The Vikings, again, you said it, are rolling in all aspects. I mean, run game is pushing, passing is pushing. I mean, the defense is doing what they have to do. And for a team that's rolling, the Chiefs defense is not the defense to stop this. It is not a wall. This is going to be a hill to keep it going, to be honest with you. And without Mahomes, and honestly, I think, again, I said last week, even a not 100%. I mean, at this point, probably not even a 60%, 50% Mahomes right now. I don't think they're going to be able to put up the amount of points that I expect the Vikings to be able to put up here. Again, Alexander Mattison, even as a backup, is just running through people. He had plenty of times last week where I said, my man would have another 60 yards if it weren't for penalties today. Yeah. He was running. We know what Dalvin Cook can do. I mean, he's still pushing for MVP at this point if Mahomes doesn't come back. Dalvin Cook is killing it. Yeah. Enough cannot be said about Kirk Cousins the last 3 weeks. And the Chiefs, I think, without Mahomes, just don't have an identity on offense. You don't see, those high-powered plays. Matt Moore is not the guy I'm looking to be in the pocket and throw it 60 yards downfield to Tyreek Hill. He did all right. Again, he did all right, but I just feel like they're not the Chiefs' offense that when you close your eyes and thought at the beginning of the season, you see. You know what I mean? You see Mahomes running out of the pocket, crazy, across his body, not even looking type plays. I just don't see that going on. And again, I just don't see the Chiefs defense being a wall for this Vikings offense. I think it's a good game. I think it's close, but I do think the Vikings end up pulling it out.
Oh, Kansas City. Do you figure out a way to pull it together? Or is the only thing good about you this year going to be your barbecue? And I think that may be the scenario because right now your corners are getting cooked like barbecue. Okay. it's sad. It's sad that for where this team was last year and where they are now, that they still cannot figure out how to play a single shred of defense. Because Stephon Diggs, we don't know Thielen's status. But because just Stephon Diggs alone, I mean, I mentioned Bissy Johnson last week. Irv Smith Jr. has been getting a couple of touches. They've been throwing him into the mix a lot. Yeah,
showed up.
The backfield for the Vikings is just so much significantly that much better than Kansas City. This is a close one. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Vikings by 1. But if either of these teams win it, it is by that 1 field goal.
So that's we all 3 pick the underdog. That might be a first on the Rumboyz.
That actually is. Wow. I can't believe that just happened.
Again, the Chiefs they're not the same Chiefs that you want to see, So
you're rubbing off on us, Raj. Let's see the next one. Colts versus the Steelers. Continuing with the afternoon lineup, this line being by actually 1 point. Let me just first kind of try and validate why Vegas has this at 1. I know many people are like, the Steelers, like what? Like Jacoby Brissett's been on fire. Here's why they have this by 1. I think that it's going to be a little bit bigger than that. We could probably put this at 7.
Steelers are home. So
yeah,
that's one's depending.
Yep, the Steelers are home, so that's a factor. The weather's going to be fairly decent. It's a good fall day. Okay, so that now factors into it. I believe it's going to be like 40, like 44.
44.
Yeah, 44. So for Pittsburgh up there, that's beautiful. That's prime. That Steelers defense can create turnovers. They will get you at least 1 or 2 a game. When you factor in the turnover ratio, Raj, am I correct? Is it at 2?
They are plus 10, the Steelers. That is insane. Plus 10.
But it's like 2 a game, I believe, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you do the math for everyone, yep, right around there.
Yeah. So with that being stated, is this defense startable, streamable in fantasy despite them playing against the Indianapolis Colts? Statistics and analysis purely points us to telling you yes. Could the Steelers possibly pull this one off? Yes. I am going to take the upset. I am going to take the upset. It'll be in garbage time, though. It is going to depend if James Conner plays. If James Conner does not play, Colts by a touchdown. James Conner plays, Steelers by anywhere between a field goal to 1, give or take.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see Conner playing in this one. What I read is wasn't practicing, and this late in the week, that's pretty tough. We did get a Juju sighting. I figured coming off the bye, they would find a way to get him involved. 100 yards and a touchdown, that was nice. I started him off the bye in one of my leagues just when I was ready to give up on him. The turnover ratio is real, like you were saying. Devin Bush, I think, is the only AFC player with 7+ tackles in every single game. He's all over the place, just what they wanted, just what they needed from him. And like you mentioned, Steelers do thrive off of turnovers. Mike Tomlin, I believe, is 5-1 against the Colts. Steelers have won the last 5. But Brissett really doesn't turn the ball over. He's not reckless with the ball. Marlon Mack, I know, sure guy. Again, he got another touchdown last week. With those weapons, I see this as a close game. I don't know what the over-under is, but I see low scoring. And I see Indianapolis's defense being able to confuse Mason Rudolph some, and I see Indy winning this game. I know it's a 1-point spread. I don't see as much of an upset, but I think they can go in there and win this game. Like you said, the weather's fine. It's not going to hurt a dome team. I do worry about Tomlin's record against the Colts, but, different Colts team. I'll take the Colts in this game, man. In a close game, like you say, low scoring, maybe around the 40s over under. Give me that.
I like it.
I'm with it. My thing is, I'm going with the Colts with this one. I agree that yes, despite having a large turnover rate, and yes, I mean Robbie's been saying for weeks this defense is hungry. They're young. They're looking to make these turnovers, and obviously they have been. But Brissett is not the guy. I mean, even if your prediction is right and he throws one interception, I'm not seeing more than one. Brissett is not a guy to get reckless with it, get nervous if he does have a turnover, and I can't see him breaking down and having multiple turnovers all of a sudden out of nowhere.
But it's not even the interceptions with this defense. It's just the fact that they're
making plays. Yeah. They're making plays. Honestly, Marlon Mack is going to be the guy I'm watching more as he goes through the tackles, that they're going to be looking to peanut punch that, not even go for a tackle. That they're going to gang it up on it, and they're going to peanut punch that. Juju, watch those hands. The young man, Deontay Johnson, watch those hands. He's the one I'm nervous about. He had some drops to start the season. You never know coming up. But I do like Brissett here. I do like the Colts. I think their defense has also just been hungry, flying around. They're kind of getting it back under their feet. And again, I'm still looking for the Steelers offense to turn it up. I also wasn't sure on James Conner playing. If he's not going to be playing, I can't see them getting the run game going. Benny Snell has not really come on and punched people in the mouth like we were kind of hoping when we met him. And a Juju sighting, I mean, thank goodness, 100 yards and a touchdown. I mean, people went with him in fantasy were shooting streamers at that point. Like, that was the peak of the season almost to start. And I don't see him being the reason that they beat the Colts this week. So I'm taking Indy. I don't see it being a blowout. I agree that maybe probably a low-scoring game. Like a 10-14 is where I'm looking at this one. But I'm taking Indy in this one.
Before we do the next game, I saw a question come up earlier. People want to know, are you still running through and having the perfect season in fantasy, Ty?
Yeah, absolutely. And guess who I play this week? So we got a chance at a W, y'all. I'm projected to lose by like 15 already. Yeah. Ryan Tannehill is my starting quarterback. I mean,
and I've beat everyone that I've gone against by like 30, 40 plus.
Yeah. Don't expect. Yeah.
I want to also add before we get into the next game. Also, Jalen Samuels, if he's available for you, go and get him. I am actually checking for you guys right now, and Jalen Samuels is 35.3% rostered. If you have James Conner, go get Jalen Samuels. There's a chance that you made a huge mistake this week in your waiver wire by not getting him.
I picked up Jalen in 2 leagues, and one of them I'm going to start him at flex if Conner is out over my guy. I love Miles Sanders. I love me some Miles Sanders, but if he doesn't have to share the backfield, Samuels, I'm going to run with him this week.
I like it.
Let's see here. Next game that we have up is the Jets-Dolphins. So the next game that we have up is Jets-Dolphins.
Put this on TV. There's always one every week.
There is always one. The line is at 3. What are we thinking here, gentlemen? We'll start with Raj.
Bad teams, obviously. You still on the flag on the schedule makers, Ty?
Flag just to start before anyone makes a take.
In this kind of game, we'll keep it short and sweet. Basically, they're saying they're both even, but they're giving the Dolphins 3 points for being at home. I don't think they're an even team because one team simply has quit. I thought it was very interesting that the Jets were open to trading Lev Bell during the deadline when they admitted that. Like, that's then, might have been a mistake there. That's not the answer to your questions when there are no other weapons. Demaryius Thomas is still going to be your number 1 wide receiver. You got Robbie Anderson there still, but come on, that's not putting any fear in anyone's heart. To mess with Jamal Adams, I don't know if that's good or bad for the team, but you still watch the Dolphins. There's still been only 1 game where the Dolphins have scored in the second half. I got to take the Jets. I'm not going to spend much time on it. Fantasy-wise, if you're desperate, you're still starting Bell, even if you're not desperate, but Demaryius Thomas has a very good price in daily fantasy leagues. You can roll with that maybe, but I'm going with the Jets and just not spending much time. I don't know much about Mark Walton. Maybe you guys do, the running back for the Dolphins who led them in snaps last week, but that's all I got for that game.
Yeah, I agree. There's not a whole lot to even be pushed on this game. The Dolphins, they maybe give you a little excitement, like, they could beat Pittsburgh. And then the second half came around, and you saw what the Dolphins have been doing all year. It is what it is. The Jets have at least put some fight into their games, and Sam Darnold is still just coming back. A lot of those losses are without Sam Darnold, so not that this is a new team by any means with Darnold in at quarterback as opposed to anybody they want to put in as backup, but it gives me a little bit more hope, and definitely more hope than whatever's going on in Miami. And I agree, Le'Veon Bell by himself could be the reason that this does favor the Jets.
Yeah.
I hate everything they did at the trade deadline. I agree. I think they pissed Le'Veon off. They pissed Adams off. I think they almost blew it up from the inside out. And that is what makes me nervous, is that maybe Jamal Adams is going to, do a little something there to make sure that they know that they shouldn't be doing that with their franchise guy. But I'm going to take the Jets in this one. Close game, low-scoring game. I'm going to take the Jets by like a field goal.
So yes, I am taking the Jets by the field goal. But also with that said, I want to kind of touch on the Jamal situation. I'm going to agree with your colleague Damian Woodley. How are you going to be pissed off at the GM for doing his job? That's his job. This is the NFL. This is a business. I get that you said that you may not have wanted to be traded, but you are a luxury to have if you are the New York Jets. The New York Jets have a million other things that they need to be trying to get. And I'm sorry, Jamal, you're a high value piece that you can go to another team and you can go win elsewhere. I get that you like New York, you like being a Jet, you feel that they drafted you, so you should stay there. And I get that's your want, your will, and desire, but at the end of the day, business is business. This is the NFL. So I just want to make sure, I put that out there, and especially for like a lot of like the Jets fans. I've been seeing a lot on Twitter. People are like, yeah, I'm with Jamal, I'm like, hold on. Like, let's take a second and take a look at this and actually look at your team. Look at the film and see that you need linemen. Your receivers are subpar at best. You need a second running back for Le'Veon. Like, you need a second running back. There's just so many different pieces they need offensively that he's a luxury at the moment. Next game that we have up, let's see here. Hell no, hell yeah, up in the chat.
What's up?
Dilly.
We're rocking the Skins.
Yep.
Skins Bills.
So Redskins Bills. This one at 9.5. Our defense has actually been playing teams fairly closely lately. Our defense has looked a lot different. It looks like we're starting to look like how we were last year a little bit, with the exception of course, Landon Collins is terrible and Josh Norman is still afraid of contact. The Bills, really, honestly, though, the only way that I see them beat us through the air, it's all of our corners know how to play Cole Beasley. I'm not worried about Cole Beasley in this game. John Brown, Smoke is really the only one that I'm worried about. He runs the post route so perfect that he gets you every single time, unless you're really planning on playing off of him. Which is hopefully what the Redskins do. Hopefully they're not looking to jam this guy within 5 yards. The Bills' running game, though, is really good between the combination between the old man Frank Gore and the young man Devin the Motor Singletary. But all in all, I am rocking with my Redskins by 1, just because it's the Bills. I feel like the Bills, we can probably be that underdog team, that low seeded team that could unearth them and unroot them. We got some things coming along. Haskins is going to be playing. I'm going to be the fuck honest. This is not going to happen, all right?
I was about to say, this is cute. I just like hearing you make the case for it.
One of us to tell you, or are you going to tell yourself?
This isn't going to happen. Bills are going to win this, but I am not going to take it by the 9.5. I will take it by 6.
Yeah, I would. Bills coming off the loss changes things for me. I think the Bills would win regardless, but coming off the loss, I believe they were at home. I believe it was, I know it was versus Philly, but yeah, they were at home coming off a loss. I don't see them losing 2 games in a row, and that extra little salt, taking no chances with, even though it's Washington coming in. I see them winning. I see them covering. I see Josh Allen with a bounce back game. It was an ugly game for those that went with him in DFS or even started him with one of your quarterbacks on bye. This one, Redskins still giving up 380 yards in their on the defense. I don't think they fixed it enough yet, in my opinion. And then you're going to have the rookie start. He took first team reps again. Haskins in today's practice. You're not doing that unless you're planning on throwing him out there. I'm not throwing him out there in Buffalo. So I think Buffalo covers, and once it's announced that Haskins will be the starter, I think that line will go up, bump into double digits. So give me the Bills, give me the cover, and give you a top 3 pick in next year's draft.
Hey, I'll take it. Jared Judy.
Yeah.
I'll come to our.
Right.
Yeah, Scott McLaurin. I mean, I agree. I mean, you could bring him in. You could bring him in. I'm with it. I agree. This Bills defense is real. Honestly, before last week, we were talking about how real this Bills team is. We were like, they're contending. They're a real thing. They could make playoffs. We could see them punch some good teams in the mouth. They get not blown out, but I mean, they did not look okay last week. I mean, Philly did what they had to do against them. I agree. I think this is a bounce back game because this team is real. I mean, honestly, we've seen it enough that I think they come together, maybe not at the point where it's a players only meeting, but I think these guys in the locker room are going to look at each other and be like, we cannot lose like that again. We just look like the Bills. And again, same thing as I said with everything. I'm not looking for them to run into the Redskins. This is going to be an easy game for them. The Redskins aren't going to stop them, especially the running game. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Bills all day.
Next game that we have up here, really quick. Cypress up wondered if a QB threw a pass to himself, would that count as a receiving or receiving or passing yards?
Mariota's done that.
I was just about to say that, and you get the double points. You get both. All righty. So next one that we have up here is Titans versus Panthers. So this line at 3.5 here. What are we thinking here, fellas? I mean, Christian McCaffrey in that backfield for the Panthers. Titans defense, was hot one week, then cold one week. What are we thinking here, Raj?
Titans offense very inconsistent, but with Tannehill at the helm, scored 27 points last week. I know they're underdogs. Kyle Allen, as we like to say on our show. I believe this will be his last start. I mean, they're still rehabbing with your guy there, Cam. I think they want to see one more time if Kyle Allen can win. If he loses 2 in a row, Cam will be back. I like DJ Moore in this matchup, but I tell you what, man, I think Tennessee pulls this off. I think they got some energy, revitalized under Tannehill. They figure, hey, we can throw the ball over 15 yards. Look at this. Crazy things can happen. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Titans on this one. It's an upset. I agree. They're giving the home team the 3.5. Understandably so. That means they see them as even teams. Christian McCaffrey, not the easiest matchup for him, but he'll be fine. I think he does his thing. I actually see a high-scoring game in this one. Yes, involving Tennessee, a higher-scoring game. But I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans to win this game. Straight up, I like Moore. As I mentioned, McCaffrey will do his thing. Kyle Allen, it's a big spot for him, and I like the story. But unfortunately, the pumpkin, it's going to clock reach midnight, and you'll see Cam in there coming next week.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, I think Kyle Allen is. I get he's a young dude. I get he's first getting into this, but these are the kind of games where after you take your first loss, you have to get it in yourself and you have to come back. I get, again, we've said this Titans defense is very good regardless of how inconsistent the offense has been all season. But I think this is a game where he can find it in himself to get it done. He can rely on McCaffrey. Maybe this is more of a hope that the young man does get it done. I don't want to see Cam come back yet. I want to see how the kid does if he has the chance to keep playing. But Titans just too inconsistent for me. Tannehill does look a lot more confident. I mean, he is definitely managing to throw the ball as opposed to what we've seen with Mariota. Derrick Henry hasn't looked bad this year, but I'm going with McCaffrey under this one. I'm rocking with the dude. I think he's going to do well. DJ Moore's got to step it up for Kyle Allen. Otherwise, I like Carolina at home. I think close game. I'm actually not going high scoring. I'm looking at like 14-10 here, but I am going to take the Panthers. I think they can manage to just squeak this thing out. Again, I preach and I love to talk about how as long as you have a good running back to end the game for you and can get those garbage yards, that is huge. And McCaffrey is the definition of that in the fourth quarter and later. So I'm going to take the Panthers.
Okay. I am taking the Panthers as well. In this one. Just the fact that when you have a guy like McCaffrey on the field, it's a game changer. Kyle Allen is probably going to have, as a young quarterback, Kyle Allen. You sounded just like Keyshawn when you said that too. But he's young to where I feel like he's gonna have that kind of like friction in him, internally about taking the loss the way that he did. So with that being said, I think he bounces back. Now depending on between Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, I think DJ Moore turns out to be the shining star in this one for that receiving core as well. On the Titan side of the ball, go out there. If you need a tight end, let's say you got, Jared Cook, injured, who's also on a bye. Go and get Jonnu Smith. Yep, go and get Jonnu Smith. This man, he literally boxes out to go and get the ball. And I absolutely love when receivers utilize that technique because their catch percentage, especially when they're big body guys, goes like myself right now, goes up a lot. So I'm rocking with the Panthers, though. I can't believe I just did that. I can't take myself.
So you guys, yes or no on this game? Does Cam start next week? Yes or no?
If Kyle Allen loses, yes. If Kyle Allen wins, it's not happening.
Ty.
I think they bring Cam back regardless. As much as I don't want to see it, I think they bring Cam back regardless.
All right.
I'm with it. Next game up is Lions and Raiders. This gets into our very first opening of the afternoon games. 4:05 for you guys on the East Coast, significantly later for those of us, 2 hours difference, 3 hours for yourself. Give or take. What are we thinking here with this game? Ty, I'll let you start.
For this one, I hate that I continue to see myself picking teams out of my own division to win games. Like it's been kind of painful, to be honest with you, but I have to be honest with you here. The Lions have been in games. I mean, they have not really been blown out at the point where we're like, oh, there's the Lions. Their record is the only thing showing it's the Lions at the moment. I mean, damn, the Bears are under them in the North. What more can I say? The Raiders have been kind of in the middle of kind of everything. They haven't been that team in any specific area. They haven't been a terrible team in any specific area. For this one, I do like the Lions. I think Stafford has been playing very well. I would like to see just how the defense does for the Raiders. I think that's going to be my big thing, how that up front, four does. But in regards to it, I think the Lions defense manages to cover here. We have been preaching Darius Slay. I mean, the man has proven himself. Derek Carr hasn't shown me that he can get it to any of these young receivers that are trying to make plays, aside from Hunter Renfrow catching a Hunter Renfrow-esque touchdown to start his, career. But otherwise, I'm going with the Lions to win it on the road. So we'll see how Stafford does. Maybe I'm preaching Stafford because I have him as my fantasy quarterback and I was nervous, but then I remembered it's Matt Stafford and he puts up just as many points as the best guys. So I'm going with the Lions right now.
Same. I'm going with the Lions as well. Tyrell Williams, though, for the Raiders is going to be back activated for this game. So that is a positive for Tyrell Williams owners. We're still waiting to hear about, the health of Josh Jacobs. It seems like every week something new is happening with him, but he still ends up getting out there on the field irregardless. Obviously, for the Raiders, Darren Waller is your guy, but I mean, outside of that, I think the Lions are going to take it to him, but I got this one by 1.
Yeah, this don't look now, but the hottest quarterback in the NFL is your very own Matthew Stafford. Another 342 yards with 3 touchdowns last week. He's passed Joe Montana all time, which is really just a product of passing more, but he passed him up. He's got 4 games with 3+ touchdowns this year. I mean, the guy has been balling, doing it, getting it done. However, the Raiders they're pretty much in every single game they've played this year, I think, except for the Green Bay game. Terrell Williams is actually second in AFC in touchdown passes. He got one last week, so he snuck in there last week. He got him another one. Josh Jacobs, if he's healthy. I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one. The Lions defense is way too generous. That's okay. It doesn't make that much noise. It won't come up. And they're giving up over 400 yards, 420 yards a game. The Lions defense is. I see the Raiders winning this one. Gruden gets it done. I believe in what they're doing and watching the game. They're in just about every game, and it's just a little bit of talent off, that they don't have. But Gruden, despite all the shtick and all the jokes, he's getting these boys to play. So I'm going to take the Raiders to win this game straight up.
You just got a Raiders fan that's behind the scenes, like super excited.
I thought he was going to throw something.
Yeah, he was like, oh my gosh. Couldn't take it. So let's see here. Okay, I like it. Raj with the upset there. Let's see here.
Is it though?
Yeah, you're right. Because they are in every single game.
Yeah.
Here's Seahawks next. The line is at 6.5. Raj, take it away.
This is more interesting than you think, actually. Pete Carroll in his career has struggled against Tampa Bay for one. He's 1-3. Tampa Bay, what do they do best? I think if they're not first or second in the league, stop the run. What is all Seattle wants to do? They only want to run. They will try and run. Yes, Russell can pass, and he will, but their identity is coming out, establishing a run with Chris Carson. 90 yards again last week. Penny's there, he'll chip in. It's a mismatch thing. The problem is Tampa Bay's way too generous with the pass. It's Jekyll and Hyde, man. It's incredible how much dominant as they are with the run. You would think they can mix in coverages or do something different to be able to prevent someone from passing on them, but they cannot. Which Jameis Winston shows up, I'm sure there'll be high yards, but also high turnovers. The Seahawks are a very optimistic defense, a +7 in turnover ratio. So despite the way that, I think it's interesting that they're going to take away Seattle's identity. They have nothing to offer in terms of stopping them when they have to pass, and they will have to pass. Seattle will, but too much for them. Seattle wins this game. There is no upset. It's just going to be interesting to see the game unfold because one team stops what the other team does very well, and I like to see that sometimes. Ooh, how's that going to play out? Sometimes it become a little chess mess, and in that case, I'll take Pete Carroll.
Awesome. Really quick, I just want to toss out there. I think you had kind of looked at me funny earlier when I said it. But Adam Schefter did just recently drop the news. Matt Breida will be playing tonight. Matt Breida owners, I don't know how you feel about that. I'd probably hold off on the start. Hopefully you have someone else better in there because I have a feeling that this one is going to be another type of re-aggravation of the injury.
You know what? It's funny you say that. Everyone says, oh, he's starting, all good. That David Johnson stuff a couple weeks ago where he had 1 carry and 3 snaps, coach said, you know what, I'm not feeling the way you're looking, pulled you out, burned a lot of people, including myself. So when someone's injured all week, especially on a short week and they get activated, if you have other options, look at them, but just don't think just because they're going to be in the game that it's going to be a full slate for you. Be very wary of that.
Especially when you're already using a running back by committee type of
You got 2 other capable running backs, absolutely.
Exactly. But my phone did just go off, so I wanted to put that out there. What I'm thinking here for Bucs Seahawks though is I'm rolling with the Seahawks as well. They're one, so much more better coached. 2, I mean it's dangerous back there underneath center. I mean what else can I say? What else are you gonna do when you got Russell Wilson as your quarterback? DK Metcalf probably catches a touchdown. Ty Lockett, he's probably going to work everything in between the hashes because the Buccaneers defense is going to overcompensate and try and lock him down, which then opens up for DK and Moore to get some action in this game. Chris Carson has been carrying the workload perfectly fine. Sorry, Rashad Penny truthers, just not his time yet. All those reasons right there, I'm rocking with the Seattle Seahawks. I will say that I can't believe that I'm saying it, but Jameis Winston is playable. Once again, if you have quarterbacks that are out on bye right now, Jameis Winston is the guy that you can kind of go back and lean on. Is he going to turn the ball over? Yes. Is he going to look absolutely ugly on film? Yes. Like when you're sitting there watching the game, you're going to be pulling your hair out. But then when you look at your fantasy points and you're like, oh, you threw 3 touchdowns. Like
it's like Matt Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, like you feel better about yourself. Chris Godwin is going to keep on being wide receiver 1 in fantasy.
What do you trust? I cannot figure because in daily football. I saw either Evans or Godwin, and I swear to God, I've been wrong every week. It's been the other freaking guy.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, and in DFS, that's one that they can easily flip flop either way. I've never gotten either of those ones right either. But I mean, in terms of redraft, I mean, if you have either one, just put them out there and just go there. Like
at this point, hit a roulette table in the morning, spin it. Red is Godwin, black. I mean, whatever. However, you got to figure it out. Like,
all right,
how to do it.
Yeah.
For me on this one, I'm also going to rock with Seattle. My big reason, I know Raj definitely hit on it right off the bat, is yes, the Bucs are good at stopping the run. Yes, we know Seattle wants to run the ball. There is a hell of a quarterback that, if forced to throw the ball, will enjoy himself. Will have a hell of a day. He will be back in the backyard like, damn, Pete Carroll, you're going to let me throw 35, 40 times today? Let's go, man. And he's going to complete 60% plus, like easily, no problem. So I can't see Seattle being put in a corner by any means because they can't run the ball. I think it's just going to open it up for them. And eventually, once they do start throwing the ball, you might even see it open up run-wise for Seattle. The Bucs, again, just inconsistency is the name of the game for a lot of teams in the NFL this year. We've talked about that with a numerous amount of them. The Bucs are those guys. Jameis Winston's decision-making makes me feel less easy that he can get it done in crunch time against Russell Wilson. I'm going with Seattle in this one. And I believe they're at home, right? 12th man. 12th man, baby. So.
But the strange thing is they're at home. They're like 0 for their last 6 covering at home. It's a strange thing.
This year.
Yeah, it started this year. Cincinnati was the first team there. It was up there, and Cincinnati came out, hit them with a flea flicker, and it's like, whoa, they almost won that damn game. But it's really weird. They just can't cover at home this year. Very strange.
Slap said if NFL players stats were food, Jameis Winston would be chitlins. Nasty looking, but somehow good.
Oh, take your word for that one.
Rod's like, I ain't been in the South, man. I don't know. You don't do that in California, he said.
Well, not where I grew up. I grew up in a gated community. We didn't need to do all that.
Oh, I feel you. Oh, my God. That was nice. I give you that one. Let's see. Green Bay Packers versus Chargers. We pretty much have let you take the full like NFC North every time, so I'm gonna go ahead.
You're gonna make me pick the NFC again?
Yeah, I like watching you suffer.
Flag off. I'm taking the Packers. I have to take the Packers. The Chargers are inconsistent. They're on the road in LA. Think about that. It makes sense. I don't trust the Chargers at all. Melvin Gordon, still with him playing, I feel like they need to make a change for Melvin Gordon. They didn't do it at the deadline. They were rolling with Eckler. Everything was at least smooth sailing. I said the last couple of weeks, I don't know what happened, if they're just trying to force feed Gordon, if something's happening behind the scenes, but the Chargers offense has scared me. Defensively, I love it. Both Bosa's getting to the quarterbacks, but Aaron Rodgers is a guy, when you try to get to him, it kicks you in the ass. And Aaron Rodgers is good against the blitz. He will throw it quickly. He will fire it out. He will hit a slant for 70 across the middle. That's the Packers for you. Trust me. Take it from a guy who sees them twice a year, and I know it's terrible. Until I see consistency out of the Chargers, I'm honestly in the same boat as I am with the Bears. Like you were here to start the season. You're here now. Figure out how to at least get back in the middle by the end of the year, and the Packers are not the team to run into to try and help you with that. So Green Bay, easily.
Obviously, we're going to pick Green Bay, but is it like wrong for me to wish that like Phillip Rivers, fantasy-wise, could just be regular Phillip Rivers?
I wanted to throw 4 touchdowns, 400 yards, ruin the Packers. I'm with you.
He has been so inconsistent.
With that.
Only 200 yards last week, man. What's going on with this guy?
Yeah. He's looking, honestly, shout out to Poly Sleepers on Twitter, one of those accounts that always has all the best sleeper picks you guys can check out. Me and we were talking around this time last year, we're like, doesn't it look like, Rivers is starting to lose feeling in his arm? Remember, we had brought that up. Actually, it was a little bit later than now, but, we had kind of seen it. And that same decline that I saw in Rivers' throwing strength towards the end of the year is what I'm seeing now currently this year. I don't think that he can sling the ball the exact same way. I think that age is starting to get to him, and he flipping can't stand it. Like how I did that just there because Phil Rivers, yeah. But no, I mean, he can't stand it, and I think that is getting to him. It's becoming a mind game with him, to where his head's not fully in the game, to where it's affecting his leadership abilities. Fantasy owners, Keenan Allen said he's going to get you guys back this week. Whatever the hell that means, if Rivers is in his head mentally, which I know that personality wise doesn't seem like he's that type of guy to be in his head. He has more poise than that. But I think right now he is in his head because of that. And because of the convoluted backfield for the Chargers, they're going to get smoked. This is going to be a 10-point game.
Wow. All right. Some with the arm strength you mentioned, I noticed last year Chargers played Baltimore. They beat them. It was the second time going through. They beat them, and then they lost the next game. I noticed his lack of arm strength then. Another quarterback that does it but handles it better is Drew Brees towards the end of the season. He was MVP candidate. Last 4 games, he pretty much fell off. It's because he couldn't get it out there as much. So with these older quarterbacks, they can come in looking great early, but towards the end of the season, you start to notice something I've noticed, especially in playoffs, that arm strength, bad weather, maybe the ball a little slippery, because of some rain. Older quarterbacks don't do as well, but definitely Phillip Rivers is suffering from that. I completely agree with you. They've been competitive, though. They've been in most of their games. Of course, a 1-point victory last week against Chicago, but they lost some heartbreakers. But, I mean, you start with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones finally getting the opportunity. I think in the first game of the season, I was talking about, hey, just give this guy the rock. 5.5 yards of carry last year. Just give him the rock. He had a career-high 226 scrimmage yards last week. My guy Devontae Adams says he's feeling better. He says he's feeling good. Hasn't been given a clearance yet, but he may show up. If he doesn't, was that
Devontae Adams helmet and pads today? At least wore those 2. So
a real practice. Okay, that lets me know he's probably going to be out there. But even if he's not, I mean, Aaron Rodgers makes stars out of any receivers he has. They win the game. I know a lot of people out here going to that game, and all of them are Packer fans. Look for this to be – I'm not kidding you. Pay attention to it. I mean, it's not something you're going to tune into, but just turn up the sound if you can for this game and tell me if it doesn't sound like it's in Green Bay someplace. It is going to be 90% Packer fans, I guarantee you. So an easy game, a home game for the Packers, and even though the Chargers are tough and they stay in games, I just don't see how they can really realistically stay in this game here.
80-degree home game for the Packers. Who'd have thought? I like it.
Right? Yeah. You get the warm weather. You don't have to see your breath when you're going. You just go out there and get it done, man.
You're still hearing Packer chants. Yeah, why not? I mean, drop a Lambeau Leap down there. Why not?
Dude, okay. Odds on that'll happen. I'd give you 50%. I don't know how the wall is there at Carson. If it's low enough, I guarantee you'll see a Lambeau Leap, one of their touchdowns, because it is going to be packed with Packer fans.
If it's low enough, I'm going like a 70%. I think why not? That's the go-to. If you got a gang of Packer fans at that end zone, especially if you're winning by a couple touchdowns, you're up feeling it. I'm Lambeau Leap.
All right, there you go.
All right, we'll keep it rocking. Browns Broncos out here in Denver. Okay, I'll let you start. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone now is just saying, okay, finally the Browns get the easy part of their schedule. But finally they can exhale a little bit. Oh, you only have Denver. We're going to see Brandon Allen. I don't know much about him. I'll let you tell me about him when you're up. But I don't think this is an easy game at all. It's on the road. It's at Mile High. The defense of the Broncos only giving up 304 yards a pop. I'm thinking about just sitting Odell Beckham in my 14-team league. That's how bad it is. Like, he just nothing done. I'm seriously thinking about sitting him 5 yards, 52 yards. I can get that from just about anywhere, but at least there's touchdown potential. He has all of 1 touchdown. It was on that great slant we saw, and it was Thursday or Monday night, whatever game that was, and they won. I believe it was against the Giants, maybe. Fine. You got 1 big play, dude. After that, I don't see nothing from you. I think the Broncos will win this game. 3.5 point fair. I don't know if they'll cover it because I think it will be close. Now, you have to tell me this for fantasy purposes. I got Royce Freeman on a few of my benches. They even start him sometime just because of the consistency. I hear Lindsey is questioned, like he missed a practice. If that's the case, throw Freeman out there. These boys, they both average over 4.5 yards a pop. But you know what's interesting about that? I think Freeman doesn't have anything over 20 yards, like one run maybe over 20. Lindsey has nothing over like 11, 15 yards. They're constantly grinding, a very consistent running game. And what that does, it constantly puts second and short, third and shorts out there for your offense. So for this young quarterback, Brandon Allen, to come on in getting his first start, I think it's an ideal situation. And I think they beat the Browns, who are a -9 turnover ratio. They just can't get out their way. Can't get out of their own way.
I entirely agree with the Browns shooting themselves in the foot every single week. And week in, week out, doesn't matter. In regards to Allen playing quarterback, that actually is something I know me and Robbie will both be paying a lot of attention to. We were hoping Drew Lock actually would get the chance to come out, throw it around a little bit. Obviously, they did just draft him. Again, one of those guys we got to talk to, played at Mizzou, went out and got him for a reason. We thought that his confidence when we got to talk to him, showed that he could be ready for the next step. And we're hoping maybe we'll see him here with Flacco being down for a couple weeks now, but we're going to be paying as much attention to Allen as I'm sure you are. In regards to the running back situation, absolutely. Freeman all day, especially if Lindsey is even questionable. Expect Freeman to take a 70-30 type switch for carries there. I think they love both backs. I think if one of them is holding out, maybe, not 100%, why not let the other guy play? I wouldn't start Lindsey if I was you guys unless you hear 100% that he is good to go. Otherwise, in regards to the actual game, I still find myself wanting to take the Browns. Like, it's getting painful to pick the Browns, but they have a lot of problems going on at practice. I'm sure everybody has seen Baker walk off of set after not having some interview questions that he liked here. Yes, we have not really seen Chubb emerge, like he had his huge 3 touchdown, like couple 100-yard game. And then we've kind of been, where's that run game gone? That's the only thing that they really have going for them. They got to get it back going. We've talked about Odell not doing anything, but I just think the Browns defense are going to figure out how to get it done against a rookie here. Well, not a rookie, but he's coming in for his first start here. I think they can manage to get this thing done. They've looked terrible throughout the whole season. As long as they have one job at this point, stop the run. Stop the run. Let him try and pass on you. No more Emmanuel Sanders. We're looking for receivers. Sutton's here. If you can shut down Sutton, you can shut down the run game. I'm going to take the Browns in what seems like an upset at this point. The Browns beating anybody is almost an upset in my mind.
Yeah.
They can get it done. The Broncos just have not shown me a lot, and especially without Flacco being behind center. I don't know how I feel the kid's going to do. So I'm going to take the Browns in a very close game. I think it comes down to a field goal either way. So
there you go.
All right. No Robbie J. We're going to keep it rolling. Patriots Ravens. This is your Sunday night football game. Can Lamar beat the number 1 defense? Top 5 fantasy player. I don't even care what position you are. This is the Patriots defense, for crying out loud. I know I'm going to go with the Patriots here. I don't think the Ravens can push this much. Bill Belichick somehow, some way always seems to have the number of these young quarterbacks that come in and people are like, this is the guy to beat Bill. This is the guy to beat the Patriots. Bill slaps him in the face, says, no, this is the Patriot way. I'm Bill Belichick. We're going to win this game. No problem. Patriots defense is too good at this point unless you see not enough veterans out of this Ravens receiving core. That's my big thing, is it's a lot of young guys who, if they do get into their own heads here after these Patriots corners kind of hit them in the mouth, I don't see them being the guys to turn it around. Mark Ingram is going to have to be a preacher for that offense and try and get these guys into it. But I'm taking the Patriots here. I just don't think the Ravens have enough veterans and things going offensively.
Don't get married.
Okay.
That's what happens when you dress like a superhero and you get called into action, man. You got to go when you got to go.
Right.
Did you see the bat signal? Was it like a shadow of, like, it was a picture of Crown Royal in the sky and you just knew you had to go?
It was. Big R. Rumboyz logo.
Big R.
Yeah.
Going back really quick to Browns Broncos, I want to go ahead and drop my takes on that one. It sounds like you guys aren't too far ahead.
I just jumped in.
This one being at Mile High. Can Baker bounce back? If there's any team that he's going to be able to bounce back against, it should be this team. A lot of those guys defensively sound like they were getting shopped around. I think that messes with the mental side of this football game. Maybe it adds a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. We'd have to wait and see, but they have not looked very impressive. Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman splitting carries is a conundrum of which I cannot solve. It's like a running back Rubik's Cube. There's absolutely no reason that should be happening, and that's, I feel, been a big piece of what's been killing them. Joe Flacco's not going to be starting. Drew Lock will not be starting despite despite being back off the IR. With that being said, the Broncos don't have the tools to pull this one off, but you are going to start the hell out of some Cortland Sutton. And then Patriots
Yeah, I just
Ravens.
dropped take, so
All right. So there was a question here in the chat. It was actually directed towards you, Raj. This comes from our Boston division. Raj, the Patriots never get specific on injuries, but they pointed out it was Brady's throwing shoulder. You think it's a legit injury or gamesmanship?
I don't think if you don't give out legitimate injuries, you're not going to start with your franchise quarterback. So I'm going to say that's gamesmanship, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one either. I do think that Brady is going to be out there. Speaking of Brady, like I've always been telling you guys, like we've all been telling you guys, pay attention to that waiver wire because someone's going to make a dumb mistake. Usually one of those dumb mistakes is in 2 QB scenarios when they already have 2 QBs rostered. They tend to drop one. In my scenario, in one of my leagues, someone dropped Brady and I turned around and picked him up. Be careful with your drops, guys. Pay attention because once a player's dropped, it's free game on the wire. There's no turning back. This being a Sunday night football game, who did you pick? You took the Pats. Ravens by 1. I want an upset. I want an upset.
I like how he has I took. That was gold.
And I want to piss Bobby off. I want to piss off our Boston division.
Oh, can I change the pick?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Already did it. Ravens by 1. Justin Tucker, go up there and do your thing. Another thing with Lamar Jackson, before we pass it off to Raj here on this game, Lamar Jackson has 846 scripted running yards. The next closest to him, Cam Newton, and I'm trying to remember
Josh Allen.
I think it's Josh Allen. I actually think it's a different mobile quarterback. No,
that'd be my 2 guesses.
But that's just off of designed runs. The Patriots defense is good, but I don't know if they're going to be able to stop everything, and this is a different quarterback than what they faced in their previous games. This is probably their harder matchup. Let's play into the fact that if something really is up with Brady's throwing shoulder, this is a defense that'll try and get to you. So I just want to put that out there. I'm going to take the Ravens by 1. Raj, take it away.
In terms of predictions, I give myself some credit. I do okay. I have a decent track record. One thing I was terribly wrong on, and I said it on our very first show that we did with you guys, is hit the second time around versus Lamar Jackson. I saw the Chargers do it in the playoffs last year. Second time around, they nullified him. I thought the league would catch up to his butt, and I thought they would be able to neutralize what he was doing. I've been dead wrong. It is not only is he sitting back there in the pocket, stretching the field, which he showed in week 1 with Hollywood Brown and others, but he's the scripted runs, as you talk about, people still can't catch up to. Like, you can't figure it out. It's just like it's too dynamic. I've been dead wrong on that. John Harbaugh is only 1-4 against the Patriots. Bill Belichick's been 6-1. However, in the playoffs, Harbaugh's done better. He shows when it counts. Like, he can really kind of handle what Bill is throwing at him. I want the upset too. This is one of those things. Oh, do I want it? Then I thought about it, and then I'm like, no, it's just something I want with my heart. We have these games we want to pick the other team, and then I'm like, listen, Patriots probably aren't going to go, 6-0. They very well could, but the schedule gets real now. They got some real teams they got to play. This is one I think they can take an L. And I think they can lose this game, and I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to win this game in a close one. Game of the week. Can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to see everything unfold. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. If not, dude, the entire AFC is going through New England. If they get the 9-0 with the Chiefs struggling the way they are, no one in AFC South that really scares you. Baltimore is the only hope to hold on to something, or else you're going to New England and try and get to Miami, and that's a rough trip to take. So more sense of urgency for the Ravens. I'll take them to win this game.
Definitely could be a good game for sure. So are we labeling that one game of the week? We usually pick game of the week.
Absolutely. You're out leaping buildings or whatever, and definitely.
Absolutely.
Cowboys versus Giants, Monday Night Football here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Can both teams just lose?
I'm going to pick the North the entire day. No, you pick one of them. Pick one of them.
Fine. I will start. Let's see here.
At least we get to pick against one of them.
Yeah.
So, being that I did just go ahead and I made that very bold pick, I just jumped out the window on that one. I am gonna be strategic for the viewers out there, so they place their money in the right spot. It is gonna be. Look at his face. He's just like, do it. Just go ahead and do it, Robbie. I am gonna go ahead and go with the Dallas Cowboys in this matchup. Unfortunately, while simultaneously a Sleep Number Dak commercial plays in the background. Oh my gosh, that literally popped up on the screen while I'm covering this. But 7.5 spread. Danny Dimes is absolutely terrible. If you can get the Dallas Cowboys defense, which in all honesty, you should be able to get them. Go ahead and snatch them up. I think Danny throws 2 picks, and then he gets sacked, fumbled. Three turnovers total for the Giants. The Giants are awful, and their fan base can't just simply admit and adhere to the fact that he's a rookie. It is what it is. This team is not far off from where they were last year. Saquon is still your only weapon. I don't care that Sterling Shepard is coming back healthy. I don't care that Evan Ingram's your tight end. Sterling Shepard could be right in the same pool as Brandon Cooks in terms of their careers being done because they've gotten concussions back to back. Darius Slayton, the rookie, he's coming along. Now that's a guy that for the wide receiver core that I really like, not because I interviewed him. And I watched him just demolish some 12-year-old in Madden, which was completely unfair.
That was hilarious. That was.
The kid's like, you're not gonna take it easy. He's like, hell no.
I had him in both of my DraftKings lineups because he was super cheap. But in the morning of when you wake up and overthink things and outthink yourself, I took him out of both lineups.
Oh, well, he was a league winner last year. He was a winner last week. I mean, but for those reasons, though, I am going with the Cowboys defense. I feel like that this is a moment where the Cowboys defense can bounce back and really look like what we thought that they were going to be coming in the season. I believe we have them as fantasy defense ranked 5.
Top 5 at least.
Yeah, we had them top 5, and they have not shown that. So this is a team that you need to go out there, you need to show that, and you need to hopefully gain some momentum out of this because you got to turn around, you got to face the Minnesota Vikings the next week, and they're not going to take it easy on you.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Dimes, he joined Dak Prescott as the only rookies to have 2 300-yard passing games with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Problem is he fumbled a few times in those games. That boy will turn the ball over. Yeah, he can put up yards, but he will turn it over. Anytime you got Barkley, team has a chance on some screenplays. They can score. I feel they'll do some things, but I don't see them hanging with the Cowboys. And as Cowboys coming off the bye week, of course, start all your Cowboys. Cooper should be healthier. Harry's still not 100%, Cooper, and he probably won't be the rest of the way. That foot, that can linger. But still, he's good enough. He runs routes so well that he should still be able to do his thing. Even the defense, like you said, sometimes the Cowboys, I'm still they don't turn over the ball enough, force enough turnovers, I should say. But it's still a defense probably not going to give that many yards. And if you do want turnovers, this is the game to get it against dangerous Danny Dimes. But, start your Cowboys. Cowboys win this game. And does that costume? Who is it? Does that have nipple rings? What's going? I'm starting to look at your costume. Since you came back, I noticed
it's Deadpool.
what's going on with your chest?
It's Deadpool, man.
Wow.
Okay.
Flag on the nipple rings.
So is that leather over the nipples? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's leather. It's just leather. You know how superheroes do. George Clooney did the Batman suit with the nipples.
All right, whatever you're into, that's fine. So yeah, give me the Cowboys in this one. Easy win. Monday night is in New York. Teams tend to have some pride in New York. So close first half, I'd imagine. But after that, I think Shermer's never beaten the Cowboys. I don't think it starts on Monday night.
No. Easy one to pick. You guys have pretty much said everything that at this point when we all pointing that I could say here. Danny Dimes, again, whether or not he throws a pick, we talked about him just having butterfingers almost with the ball, especially when in the pocket. I feel like he gets nervous and he forgets that he's holding the football and he either should throw it away or put it in his chest while he's going down. He seemed to forget that part of being a quarterback. Cowboys, again, Robbie said the defense, if there's a team to step it up against, to bring your numbers up, to make you guys kind of get back to it, it is the Giants. This game was already circled. I know all division games are circled, but again, after a bye, I mean, there's just 1,000 reasons that the Cowboys cannot lose this game and should not lose this game. It is the Cowboys. You could see it happening, but there are 1,000 reasons. And again, Dak, as we have lost trust in him the last couple of weeks, we've lost more trust in Danny Dimes the last couple of weeks. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Here we go. And the lesson here, remember, they are rookies. I'm so sick and tired of every time I go on Twitter and people are super hypercritical over these rookie quarterbacks without I shouldn't be as frustrated because it's people that don't go back and look at their resumes. You look at Gardner Minshew, he's been just playing quarterback forever. You look at a fighter like Anthony like Andy Ruiz, he had been fighting amateur for so long that when he got in the ring with Andy Joshua, it was nothing to him.
It wasn't anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the movements, everything, it was just all normal. Gardner Minshew has played so much football, that it just happened. I mean, in an environment that he came from.
This is what I do, Shorty. This is what I do. I plays football.
Exactly, So I mean, just wanted to throw that out there, guys. Before you be hypercritical on a guy, go on YouTube, go on Google, whatever the case. Type in their name, type in the highlight reel, and study them, and then get an affinity for, okay, this is why they're dealing with what they're dealing with now. And it'll truly help you understand the timetable it takes for these guys to develop.
Well, a couple things. It's like different ends of the spectrum. People get super hyped over rookies at first. Like Danny Dimes, he got a nickname based off of some preseason completions, Danny Dimes. And then it goes straight to what you're saying, hypercritical. And there's, this guy's garbage. He's never going to be anything. So you're absolutely right on that one.
Yeah. So I just want to encourage people to do that. Employ yourselves to do that. It'll make you better as a fan and alleviate a lot of stress. Other than that, though, we greatly appreciate you guys for joining us. I'm sorry that I had to go and answer the bat signal, the husband signal, but I made it do what it do because that's what we do, baby. Yep.
Yeah.
For the rest of the day, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Put some hot sauce on your burritos, baby, one time for with a spoon up in the air.
Rest in peace.
Yup. Catch us tonight for the game. If you're out with your family trick-or-treating, make sure you definitely enjoy that time. We love that you guys enjoy family time with us on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network, but also enjoy time with your families. Other than that, Raj, what you guys got going on out there in ESPNLA tomorrow?
Obviously going to check out this Thursday night game with the NFC West ramifications on it. Like, is there any blueprint to try and stop these Niners? We got a big game in the NBA. Kawhi and the Clippers are going to face San Antonio, who's undefeated. So he had some load management last night, but he'll play today. And then USC's got a big game against Oregon. It's like, as much as we want to fire Clay Helton and get Urban in here, we can't. Dude keeps winning. And if they mess around and win this game, they're going to the Pac-12 champion or in the Rose Bowl. So we just kind of have fun with that. I don't give a damn about the Rose Bowl. You got to get rid of this dude, get Urban in there, Rose Bowl, who cares?
And if you guys want to catch up on all the fun that Raj, Keyshawn, LZ, Travis, all of them have on the set of their show, just simply go on the ESPN app, hit that listen portion, find their show, right away, boom, you're all connected.
Appreciate you.
Oh, no worries. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Cheers to me.
Cheers to you.
All the Rumboyz and girls, what it do. Dilly, we out.
Are those super muscles or what?
Oh my gosh.
Flag.